Morning, good afternoon, or good evening, depending on where you're joining us from in the world. We come to you from Toronto, Canada, and we welcome to our Open Up live talk show. My name is RJ Horner, and I'm the host of Open Up. I'm also the vice president at Voice of Men 360, and I'm the host and facilitator in my own community called Live and Love Life. Let me share a brief introduction about Voice of Men 360 International Men's Day and why this talk show Open Up is so important and what it's all about. Voice of Men 360 is a not-for-profit organization founded in 2020 and based in Toronto, Canada. Many boys and men are seeking help and support in many areas of their lives. We understand the demands and the support needed when it comes to boys and men in our society. Voice of Men 360 organization was born of seeing a tremendous need and stepping up to help provide services to help support and overcome men and boys' life challenges. We are part of International Men's Day. International Men's Day has been serving for over 21 years so far and is in 90 countries around the world, joined together doing various activities regularly. IMD follows 6 pillars, which is the overall well-being of boys and men. We follow in their footsteps and support these 6 pillars. So why open up, and why is it important to open up? Because we men do not open our hearts and willing to share our matters with anyone. When we keep our emotional challenges within ourselves for long times, at some point it'll explode and it'll affect our health conditions in many ways. That's why we want to create an open space and allow individuals to share their life journey through our platform. We aim to create awareness about the life challenges, struggles, and overcoming ups and downs that our boys and men go through in their lives. There are no limitations with gender, age, nationality, or age groups with sharing their life journey. Everyone is welcome to participate. Our goal is to make a positive impact on someone's life through this program. Open Up is live on Sunday mornings, 10 a.m. to 10:30 Eastern Time. Each week, we'll bring an individual and share their life experiences with you. We have a special guest today. His name is Adeosun. He is a warehouse officer at the Toronto Catholic District School Board. Welcome, at Adeosun, to Open Up. Thank you for joining us on Sunday and being willing to share your life journey with us.
Morning, RJ. Thank you for giving me the opportunity to share my life story with you.
Thank you. And so this is about walking you through your life journey from childhood to adulthood and how you can help other people. So if you wouldn't mind, just off the top, starting with some experiences or challenges that you had in your childhood, in school age, around that area.
Okay. Yeah, like RJ said, my name is Adeosun. I'm a warehouse officer with the Toronto Catholic District School Board. I was born in Lagos, Nigeria. And as you all know, Nigeria is in West Africa, and with the ongoing economic issues we had growing up was hard compared to what we had now. Many kids of nowadays have access to internet, which we didn't have growing up. Kids nowadays have access to computers, access to phones. All that they existed while growing up. So, growing up was kind of tough. It was fun, but it was tough. I have a bachelor's degree in human resource management. I also have a bachelor's degree in economics as well. So, part of studying economics, which involved a lot of numbers, we were meant to use computers to study statistics. But, growing up in Africa, we didn't have access to computers, like I said earlier. So, we had a teacher that had to always draw an Excel sheet on the blackboard with chalk, teaching us how to use that. So imagine learning how to use Excel spreadsheet by just looking at the blackboard and the teacher drawing an Excel spreadsheet on the blackboard. So it's growing up was hard. And, we didn't have access to basic infrastructures like electricity, good roads, water. We had to walk miles with buckets on our heads to get water, clean water actually. And also most part of the day we were out of electricity. We had electricity to live like, few hours of the day. And then, we had to walk miles to school. Though there was public transport, but, we had to save our lunch money. So we will have more to spend on lunch than spending on public transport. So, it was fun growing up. We're a group of students who, we were taking the walk every morning to school. And, growing up was challenging too, because, having my kids now has made me realize what, I can actually offer them better than what I got growing up.
So yeah, and so I mean that's difficult. That's hard, and you've overcome. Just based on that chalkboard story, it seems like you learned to overcome there. But tell me, I mean, maybe what you were into social services. You ended up with the Toronto District School Board. What inspired you to maybe back then to lead this path? What towards your career?
Okay, so while growing up watching TV, you see, the mention of these countries on TV, and you be like, wow, you see kids playing around. I didn't know how snow looks. I was like, one day I'll I will be in that country playing with snow, my kids. And that inspired you. And when you listen to the news, international news, you listen to how young kids are when they show them in their classrooms, and they'll be like, wow, is that a classroom? You see a classroom of 20 students. I grew up going to school with a classroom of over 400 students. While I was in university, we were close to 700 students in a classroom. Most of us had to stand for a 2-hour lecture. So, seeing all that on TV, like, what, that's kind of life I want my kids to live. I don't want my kids to grow up to pass through what I went through growing up, right? So, I decided after my university days, and the unemployment rate was high back home, and I was like, what? Why don't I leave this country and look for something better? I know I can do better with what I have. I deserve better, right? So, I told my mom, and I said, mom, I think I want to leave this country. And she was like, oh, well, you think you will cope? Who do you know? They're like, well, it's like living the same cycle all over again. You wake up, go out, you look for a job, you come back, still nothing. And she's like, okay, you know what? Maybe we'll try and raise some money for you, and then you can leave the country, and hopefully things work out for you, and you don't have to come back here. So I was determined. I think the major key was determination, because when you think back of all the struggles you had growing up, and you'll be like, you know what, I can't take this anymore. Enough is enough. So I made up my mind. I was determined. I was disciplined, and I just made up my mind that, what, I've had enough. I'm leaving this country, which I did. And today, I am proud to be in Canada.
Did you study here, or did you study somewhere else before you came here?
Well, I came into Canada as an international student. I studied human resource management at Durham College, a graduate certificate. Then after my graduate certificate, then I go into the job market. So, coming here thinking, oh, yeah, Canada is a beautiful country. Yes, of course, So I thought maybe, I'll just apply to any organization, and then boom, I'll get the job. No, it didn't work that way. I had to, I had to, first of all, do some jobs, first of all, get some Canadian experience, which, it's it's a must have for you to even land a job here in Canada. So that, my first job, I got into the towing industry as a tow truck driver with CAA. So I did that for about a year. Then, while working with CAA, people always commended me, like, you are good, you are this, you are nice, you are approachable, you know how to approach people. Because, when you deal with CAA customers, it's always like your car breaks down on the highway. Obviously, you start freaking out. You are scared when you see cars going over 100, 120 kilometers per hour on the highway, and cars passing you. Of course, you are so scared. You are freaked out. So, you get there, you try and de-escalate the situation. You tell them everything will be fine. Don't worry. I'll help you out. I'll tow your car to a safe destination. We'll get up the highway. I know you notice like that. So, people always comment that, you are good at this. Why are you doing this job? I'm like, well, I have a family to feed. So, I'm new here in this country. I'm like, well, you can do better than this. And, my wife will be like, well, it just take it as a stepping stone, as a starting point for you in your career. Then after working with CA for like a year, I got into dispatching. So, I took a course in Mississauga. It was a 2-week course in dispatching and logistics. So after doing that, I was able to get a job with XPO Logistics as a dispatcher. So, that really, opened my mind to, like, wow, logistics and supply chain is huge. So that was why I made up my mind that, you know what, I'm going to further my career in logistics and supply chain. So I enrolled in TITT to become a logistics professional, which I'm still working on right now. And, you know, so after I left XPO, I went to Crew later as a logistics coordinator. And after I left, I was there for 2 years, which, you know, I gained more experience because that was really like frontline logistics because, you know, dealing with different companies, Amazon packages, and, you know, consumer online orders and all that. So that opened my mind to, you know, like, wow, logistics is huge. So, you know, after I left ProLator, I was there for 2 years. After I left there, then I applied to Toronto Catholic School Board as a warehouse officer, which I'm presently working there right now.
Awesome, and thanks for the resume. You know what? You certainly described your upbringing, so I like that. That's very awesome. But you mentioned your conversations with your mother, but did you have a relationship with your father? What was that like, if you wouldn't mind telling us?
Okay, yeah. So my dad passed away when I was just 5 years old. So I don't really have much memory of him, right? But you know, my mom being a single mother who raised my sister and I, she did a wonderful job raising us. You know, it got to a point things were so hard. I had to go live with my aunt for a while. So my aunt sent me to secondary school, which is the high school. And you know, despite things being hard, my mom and my aunt made sure I went to one of the best schools in Nigeria, which was the King's College, Lagos. Right. So you know, seeing that alone, you know, like, you know, if my mom can, you know, stay this strong, because she never got married again. Because she said she made up her mind, you know what, let me just focus on my two kids and, you know, give them the best I can, which she did. And, you know, anytime I look back at her, you know, I'm proud of my father, but, you know, I never really knew him because he died when I was 5. And, you know, things were hard because, you know, back home, we didn't have access to life insurance and, you know, like workplace insurance and things like that. So part of the things I did, you know, when I got a good job, part of the first things I did was, you know, my wife and I, we got a life insurance because that way, you know, bringing back the memories of things I went through growing up. Because after my dad passed away, we had life insurance. Yes, maybe we could have lived off that for a while. So, you know, part of the things I did was, you know, get a good life insurance and also set up an RESP for each child after they were born. And that way, you know, their education will be paid for and all that. Just in case, you know, like you said, you know, we men go through a lot. Nobody knows tomorrow, right?
Right. No, absolutely. Absolutely. Thank you for that. So, but do you feel you were missing that father-son relationship at all?
Yes. I think I missed a lot because, you know, growing up with men is quite different. You know, for example, I have a wonderful 5-year-old son, and, you know, looking at him, the way, you know, the way he deals with me is different with the way he deals with his mom, right? You know, when it comes to men, we're always the disciplinarian in the house. And, you know, boys tend to look up to their father. And that's why, you know, if you look at some successful men now in the world, their sons always, you know, take after them, like, you know, what they do in their line of work and all that. Which I mean, because the boy child always looks up to the father. That's why we as men have to be good examples. I know the thing is, being a good father doesn't just mean bringing in the paycheck or being a disciplinarian in the house. No, it's more than that. It's just more than, building self-confidence in your son and daughter, not just focusing on the son, but also on the daughter as well. Because, you know, there's also a special relationship between a father and a daughter as well, which I've learned having my daughter. Because, there's just this flow you have with them, which I didn't have growing up. But, you know, having them now, you know, has opened my mind broadly to so many things.
Oh, absolutely, absolutely. Thank you for being open. That's again what we're all about here. So, I mean, can you tell us some of the challenges you think that men face in our society today?
Well, the part of the major challenges I would say men face is, is pressure. You know, every man, no man wants to see his family suffer. That, you know, every morning when my alarm goes off for 5:30, no matter how tired I am, I'll be like, you know what, I have to get up. For my family, I have to do this. So I think what most men go through is the pressure. And as men, we need to learn where to draw the line, because you can only take care of your family if you're alive and well, right? I think part of the problems men face now is family pressure is increasing. Um, and um, and I think with the access to resources we have, most men are not tapping into it, because the thing is, like me, back home, well, we don't have as much access to resources as we have here in Canada, right? So, navigating them could be hard, but, seeking help too to be part of what a man should always do. But to me, I think family pressure is number one, because a man is proud and happy if his family is happy.
Absolutely. Thank you for that. That's, you know, probably the number one thing that we have to deal with. And again, if we don't open up, if we don't talk to people about these sorts of things, then it just builds up, right? It becomes a worse situation. It leads to men's mental health issues. It leads to physical health issues, all because we're not open and able to talk about these pressures that we're having.
Exactly. And but also the thing also is I think as men, our mental health too should be priority. Because there was a one time we had an health and safety training at work, and the instructor said, everybody close your eyes, think of um the first four people you would think of if anything happens to you, and he told us to write it down. Of course, I put my kid's name, my wife, my name wasn't on the list. And he said, you can only take care of someone if you take care of yourself.
Wonderful. Wow, what a great example. That sets it up perfectly. I mean, that's like the when you're on the airplane, put your mask on before somebody else first. You know what I mean?
Exactly.
You need to take care of yourself first. Absolutely. But can you share some incidents that you've experienced, or you've seen somebody else experience, that they've been affected by something, and then maybe how they overcame those issues?
Well, the thing is, while growing up, we've had there have been, some things happen, while living with my aunt, it's not like living with your own biological mother. So you can't expect to get treated the same way like a kid, yes. But it was tough. It was really stressful growing up, combining school with housework, with everything, and with the with the limited resources you have, it was kind of challenging. And part of the thing too is back home. Everybody was a disciplinarian, because the whole village was raising you. It wasn't just your biological mom or your auntie. So you could go out, and you are being monitored. You do something bad, they have the right to correct you right there and then, right? Yeah. So it was like you were being watched everywhere you go. So we were always being careful, but as kids will always be kids. We always got in trouble, right? So so many things happened. Like, but we were able to overcome it, and those were the things that were able to build our confidence. Those were the things that are able to build our confidence today, and which helps to in helping me to raise my own kids.
Absolutely wonderful. So, let's talk for a moment about some of the stresses that men face, especially in the workplace. You know what? Can you talk about that for a minute?
Okay, so at work, I supervise a team of 11 workers. They are wonderful workers, always responsive, hardworking men. But some challenges come in place. Of course, workplace challenges come in place. Um, as a supervisor, you're always the first point of call. They come rushing to you into your office. Oh, I this, that, and you're like, oh, okay, how do I handle this? And I've had some few weeks ago, we a worker came to me complaining about conflict at work. And, he said he wasn't being treated very well by other members of the team. So, and I asked him, I said, okay, can I call them and ask them what really happened? Because, I can't hear only your side of the story. I need to hear both sides of the story. So like, oh, no, I'm just letting you know. And I said, no, look, if there's an issue on ground, we need to address it, right? So let's come together as a team. Everybody put aside your differences, spit everything out, and let's move on. So, which it was hard for me to do because, you now have to now spirit out saying, oh, I heard this was going on. Does anybody want to shed more light on this? They were not being responsive because nobody wanted to spit it out because you now start pointing fingers at them, right?
Mm-hmm.
So, conflict at workplace is hard. It's hard, and but sometimes I try to navigate it, and sometimes I get along with it, and sometimes I just put my foot down and say no, enough is enough. This has to be addressed.
Mm-hmm. After you got people to open up like that in that little session, was the workplace smoother after that? Did things work themselves out?
Yeah, it did, but things like that only work themselves out for a couple of days, and then you have to continue telling them, we are here to work, keep the team going. You guys open up to each other. If any issue, spit it out and let's address it right away.
Mm-hmm. Yeah, so and that's exactly it. We have to be more open up, right? We have to be more able to accept these things, deal with them, and move forward. So thank you for that. That was a good tool there. And so, how can we as men be more open, especially? Well, let's first of all in our workplace. Let's start with that. How can men be more open in the workplace?
Well, being open in the workplace is talking about everything relating to work. And sometimes if okay, like there's some workers, they feel sick, and some supervisors just overlook it and be like, what, just get to work. No, there's nothing bad in having the conversation with him. Are you okay? How do you feel? Is there anything I can help you with? Are you seeking help? Is it a medical issue? Or something like that? Like, encourage him to seek help, because the thing is, most men don't want to just sit at home and be like, what, I'm sick, I want to stay at home. No, they want to keep on going because they believe they are responsible for the paycheck. So they just want to keep on going. But sometimes you be like, whoa, slow down. Take care of yourself mentally, medically. If you need time off, take some time off work and all that, right? So encouraging people you work with and telling them, what, no problem is too big, no problem is too small. Open up, talk about it. The more you talk about it, the more it helps your mental state.
Thank you for that. That exactly reaffirms the message we have here. So, how could we be more open with our family then? The people who mean the most to us, and
Yeah.
sometimes we're trying to, like you say, we're trying to be men. We shade them from this, but how can we be more open with our families?
When it comes to family, like you said, family is priority. So like my wife and I, she knows everything about me. She knows about my health. She knows about my workplace. She knows. So after each day I come home, my wife is wonderful. She says, "How was work?" Talk about it. And she'll be like, "Oh, well, you should have done this. You should have done that." I'm like, "Oh yeah, that's true." We talk about it. And she also, when she comes back from work, she tells me, I'm like, "Oh wow, this happened at work. Oh, this." Like we have that back and forth communication. And from there, I learn one or two things from her. She learns one or two things from me. And I'll be like, "Oh, remember when I told you this? This is why I did. This is why I did." Like, "Oh no, you should have done that." So having that sort of discussion helps. I learn more from her. She learns more from me. Right? And then the kids are there. You ask them, "How was school today? Did you do this? Did you have fun?" I'll be like, so things like that, helps you to put the family together after a stressful work day.
Mm-hmm. And I think one other thing that helps, especially with me, is trying to keep the emotion out of that conversation, right? Because sometimes you're sharing something that happened at work, and you're also sharing the emotion or something that carried along with it, right? So, and then your partner, who you're trying to download with, takes it personally because it's like you're almost having an argument with them over the same subject. So I think watching the tone and watching the emotion that comes along with it kind of helps.
Yeah.
So what would you give to a message to people trying to, find their way out of conflict, trying to find their way to the better emotion, better attitude? What advice would you give people in that place?
Well, my advice to them is, one, don't give up. Don't give up. And everyone can do better. You just have to believe in yourself, no matter how hard. Like, I believe in myself. My wife believes in me. I believe in her. My kids are looking up to me. So, that's thinking about that every day, keeps me going. And, like we said, as men, we need to open up more, seek help where we can, and, know where to draw the line in most cases. And, as men, it's not easy balancing work and life issues, exactly, work and family issues at the same time. But I've been able to do it. I mean, I'm not saying I'm perfect, but I've been able to do it with the help of my wife, and we've worked together very well in doing that. And also as men, like growing up, they'll tell you, well, as a boy, you shouldn't cry. You have to be strong. Don't show your emotions. Don't do this. But like there's sometimes that crying actually helps you bring out the emotions, and you'll be able to talk about it. And who knows where help will come from, right? Because the thing is, once you don't give up, and just make sure you seek help. If you realize you need help, please seek help.
Wonderful. Thank you for that. Absolutely. You know what? Two good things. Look, we're men and we're afraid to cry, right? We're told we cannot cry. But listen, crying under certain circumstances relieves the pressure.
Yeah.
And then sometimes a hug. You know what? A hug from a partner, a child, you know what? Even sometimes a best friend. You know what? Hug can help relieve some pressure. So those two little things can change somebody's life, right?
Yeah, it does.
So that is AO. Thank you for joining us today and opening up and sharing your journey with us.
Okay, thank you, RJ, for having me on the show.
Oh, absolutely. That was a great show. Thank you very much. AO, thank you for joining and sharing your life's journey with us. When people like yourself come forward and share their life experiences on platforms, social media like ours, it'll give some hope to someone out there and change their mindset and maybe change their life in a positive direction. That's our goal here with Open Up and in Voice of Men 360. We want to bring individuals and allow them to share their life journey, have an open conversation about our men's problems and challenges, and about how we can help them. We have 4 live shows weekly here. We have Open Up again, which is a live talk show every Sunday morning, 10 a.m. Eastern Time. We have Vili, which means I in Tamil, which is a Tamil live talk show, and that's on Wednesdays at 7:30, and that's Eastern Time, and then Sundays at 8 a.m. Eastern Time. Those are both Vili shows. And then we have panel discussions once a month. We also have a monthly webinar. It's actually twice a month, bi-weekly webinar, Saturdays at 10:30 to 11 Eastern Time. And we also have a support group that's starting up. Today is our first monthly men's group. That's January 17th tonight from 7 to 8 p.m. You can visit our Facebook group to get more information on that, or you can look for it on Eventbrite. Again, it's a Voice of Men 360 event. And this theme for tonight is called Moving On 2021. So those are our talk shows and our support groups and our webinars. And then, of course, our podcast, Open Up, and Vili, which means I in Tamil. We're looking for participants. We want you to share your life journey and your stories to help other people. So please share your journey, share your story with others. There's no limitation or with age, gender, nationality, or ethnic groups. We want everybody to participate. We want you to share your story. You want to be a guest on one of our shows, or if you're willing to be a part of our organization and help in any way, whether directly or indirectly, please reach out to us. We'd like to work with individuals, professionals, experts, communities, and organizations, associations, corporations, or even government officials and businesses to help improve our reach and our organization. Please call us at 437-889-8329. You can email us at info@voiceofmen360.org. Please visit our website for more information and more about what we do at www.voiceofmen360.org. You can find us on all social medias. Again, facebook.com/groups/voiceofmen360. That is our tag where you can find us on social media, Instagram, LinkedIn, Twitter, and YouTube. We are Voice of Men 360. Please like and subscribe to our YouTube channel. You may have found this video there, so please like and subscribe below. We want to reach out to more people and be able to help more people, so please continue to reach out with your support. Thank you for joining us today. Again, I am RJ Horner, host here in Open Up. Thank you for joining us today. Until next time, better days ahead.